Two of the deepest hungers within the human heart, and there are many, is a hunger for love, to be loved and to love, and to know, to have knowledge. Knowledge and love, deep hungers in all of our hearts. Today in the gospel, we hear a man say to Jesus, "I know who you are." That's quite a claim. I wonder in our lives if we know who Jesus is, whether I know who Jesus is. That is a lifelong process. Remember a story told about a grandmother and her son Jimmy. She had 6 grandchildren. Jimmy was 9 years old, very curious, hungering for knowledge. How long is the Panama Canal? What's the distance from the earth to the sun? All kinds of questions. This one day he said to Grandma, how old are you and how much do you weigh? Grandma said, Jimmy, you never ask a woman those 2 questions. That's very impolite. Later in the day, he's walking by the counter, and there's a wallet on the counter, and he sees the driver's license of his grandma. He looks over that driver's license. Grandma, he said, you are 62 years old, you weigh 111 pounds, and you got an F in sex. But there's a driver's license knowledge. And on that driver's license, people know us, right? They know how old we are, what we weigh, color of our hair and our eyes, our nationality, our address, when it expires. They know who we are. Or do they? Or do they? Because I'm behind that driver's license, and inside of it, there's dispositions of this grandma and desires, anxieties and fears, joys and sorrows, good decisions, bad decisions. We don't know somebody through their driver's license. We don't know Jesus by just reading the Bible. It's something deeper than that. There are 3 things in my life that help me to understand Jesus a little bit better. One is a wonderful prayer, a song, and a poem. The prayer comes from St. Richard 400 years ago. And the prayer goes like this. Thanks be to thee, my Lord Jesus Christ, for all the benefits which thou hast given me, for all the pains and insults which thou hast borne for me, O most merciful friend, Redeemer, and brother. May I see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly. People in New York took the last 3 lines, and they got musical Godspell, great song. Day by day, dear Lord, 3 things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to love thee more nearly, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. If you don't know Jesus, I'll pray that prayer. Jesus is Lord, He is friend, He is Redeemer, He is our brother. That's who Jesus is in that beautiful prayer 400 years ago. There's a poem written by George Herbert. He is an Anglican priest, poet. He died in the year 1633. He wrote a poem, just 9 lines, 61 words. If I had known this poem back in 1962, I could have skipped 4 years of theology. And that poem contains a whole vision of who we are, what our theology is. It's just not a poem, it's a prayer as well, a direct discourse to the Lord. And the poem goes like this. Lord, who has formed me out of mud and hast redeemed me through thy blood and sanctified me to do good, purge all my sins done heretofore, for I confess my heavy score, and I will strive to sin no more. Enrich my heart, mouth, hands, and me with faith, with hope, with charity, that I may run, rise, rest with thee. 61 words, 9 lines. The God who creates us out of mud, we're very muddy people. He redeems us through his blood, sanctifies us to do good, purges us of our sin, and enriches us with faith, hope, and charity. I got a deal for you. Easter this year is on April 1st. If you go on Google today and type in George Herbert Trinity Sunday, if you memorize that poem and you see Sister Marla, memorize it perfectly, she'll give you $5. If she sees you at the store, or here at church, and says, okay, what's the recitation? You can't do it, you owe her $5. So that's the deal. It's a beautiful, beautiful prayer. God is our creator, our redeemer, our sanctifier, our purger, and our enricher. And Jesus makes manifest that God to us. Back in 1985, a musical came out, first in England and then in Broadway. We had 6,600 performances in New York. Very popular. Many of us have seen it. Les Mis, have you seen that one? Powerful musical. The last song in the finale, there's one line that I'll never forget, and the line is, to love another person is to see the face of God. One more time. To love another person is to see the face of God. When we love one another, we're going to see Christ in one another. We're going to know who Jesus is, especially in the poor and in the needy. The guy in the gospel today said, I know who you are. Hopefully we can say that. Jesus, we know who you are. We have a very special event this morning, and Sister Marla's come forward. We're going to welcome new members to the community last 6 months.
So we have some volunteers who are going to come forward to both read off the names and